The book of Ecclesiastes, one of the most down-to-earth books in the Bible, was written by King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived. And it's all about what he learned about life, the meaning of life, and how to live life the right way.
And so, in this video, I'm going to summarize the whole book for you in 60 seconds.
Let's go! Okay, so chapter 1, verse 12. Meaningless. Meaningless, says the preacher. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain by being wise? Chapter 2, he goes on to say, I have seen the burden God has placed on humanity, that he has made their days full of toil and their nights full of anxiety, so that he may make it clear that people cannot grasp the reality of what he does from one generation to the next. So basically, there's this overarching theme throughout the book where Solomon is kind of like questioning God. Like questioning, why do we have to work so hard? Is there any point to all this? Like, what's the meaning of it all? And he goes through many things in life, like pleasure, work, money, and he realizes that none of these things are ultimately satisfying. Chapter 3, verse 11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in people's hearts, yet so that they will never find out what God has done from beginning to end. So he comes to the conclusion that, okay, God created everything and it's all good and beautiful and fun, but he puts this eternity thing in our hearts, like an infinite longing for more, which makes us never satisfied with anything. Chapter 4, verse 1. I went to see with my own eyes all the oppression that is done under the sun. Two people in the same bed who hate each other and do not even allow themselves a little space between them. For one is full of bitterness and hatred. How can love and fellowship remain? That's kind of a metaphor for how even in relationships, like close relationships, there can be so much hurt and pain. And then he goes on to say, woe to the one who loves too much and has many lovers. So he talks about how even love, like having many lovers, having lots of friends, like having many pleasures in life, isn't ultimately satisfying. And so he continues to kind of list all these things that people do under the sun and how they all just meaningless and they all fall short. And that's why in chapter 12, he says, fear God and keep his commandments, for that is the whole duty of humanity. So the whole point of the book is to say that all these things that we tend to put our hope in, like pleasure, work, food, drink, money, those things are not going to satisfy us. Only God can satisfy us.